Hey guys, thanks for stopping back by today. Today I want to talk to you about how I would choose a Filipina to be my wife. I was married to a Filipina for 4 or 5 years and unfortunately it didn't work out. I brought her back to my country in the USA and we just decided to split ways. But I learned a lot and I lived in the Philippines for a year and I seen a lot of red flags and I made a lot of mistakes. So today I want to share with you, if I was to look for a wife, the things I would do differently, the things I would change, and talk to you about the mistakes I made. So grab your beer, pull a seat up, and let's talk about it. So if you watch some of my other videos, you'll know that I was married to a Filipina 4 or 5 years. Didn't work out, we got a divorce. Got online, got in a Facebook group, met a beautiful young Filipina. Went to see her several times, fell in love, brought her to the United States, we got married, and it didn't work out, and we got a divorce. I've been to the Philippines many, many times. Now, I said I would never get married again. She was my third marriage, but I've learned to never say never. But if I was to search for a wife in the Philippines, I have some advice for you. The first thing I would do was make sure that you know what kind of woman you want before you get there. Before you get online, before you get on any dating site, any group. I don't recommend doing that. But make sure you know from the very beginning and stick to it. If you say, all right, this is what I want. I want a woman with no kids. I want to start my own family. Don't get online and start messaging it all these women and saying, well, I'm bored. I'm just going to talk to them, just chat with them. Because you'll be surprised. You'll end up falling in love with some girl that's got a kid or some woman that's separated but legally married. And then you'll put yourself in a situation where you're trying to figure out how can I get this woman out of this marriage and how can I marry her? Well, I guess I'm going to choose this woman and help her raise her kids. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But you need to make up in your mind, if you get online and you start talking to this woman, and she says, I got a kid and you don't want a woman with kids, don't even get it started. Don't even start messaging. So, well, I apologize. I'm looking for a woman, no kids. I'm going to start my own family. It was nice to meet you and go on. Because if you just start saying, well, I'll just continue talking to her, just be friends with her. These women, they got ways of making you fall in love. They'll start sending you all kind of dirty pictures. They'll message you every morning, say, good morning, have you eat, honey? Are you doing okay? And you'll start getting feelings. So if you want a college-educated woman, if you want a woman with a professional job, make your mind up. If it don't matter if she's educated or not, if it doesn't matter if she's working or not, if it doesn't matter if she's got kids or not, whatever you're looking for, make your mind up before you do anything, before you get in a group, before you get on a dating site, before you get on the airplane. Make sure you know exactly what you want, stick with it. Because like I said, these women will change your mind in a hurry. They'll throw something on you and then you'll fall in love, feelings start getting involved, and you'll be caught up in it. The second thing I could tell you is, if it was me, if I was searching for a wife, I would go to the Philippines. I wouldn't do it online. I wouldn't look ahead of time. Don't look for a wife to pick you up off the airplane when you arrive in the Philippines. That's a mistake. Because there's a lot of stuff you've got to learn. You've got to learn her family, her ways, everything about her. So you'll fall in love with somebody that you think is one way, and then you get off the airplane and find out she's a different way. But you've already got feelings involved. You invested time. Maybe you've talked to them for 6 months or a year until you finally get on the airplane and you've fell in love. So if I was you, if I was searching for a wife, I would make sure I knew what kind of woman I wanted, and I would stick to it. And then I would wait till I was able to get to the airplane and go there and search for one myself. The third thing I would tell you is don't get involved with a Filipina that's separated. There's a lot of these women in these dating sites and these groups that are looking for a good man. They're in a bad situation. They might have a kid or two, and they've been married, but there's no divorce in the Philippines. You can get an annulment, but it may take 7 years, and you may or may not get it and spend up to $10,000. It's hard to get an annulment in the Philippines. There's not that many granted. And it's just not worth your time. It's not worth spending 7 years with somebody that's married, that's already married. You can't marry the woman. So don't even get involved with that. And it's also, it's illegal. It's against the law. If you get involved with a Filipino woman that's separated but legally married, you can go to jail for 7 years. Both of you. Is it likely? No, probably not, but it can happen. You can go to jail for 7 years if the guy decides he loves her and she left him and he's always wanted her back, but now he finds out she's with a rich foreigner, and now you done put yourself in a bad situation. So I advise you not to get involved with any woman that has been married in the Philippines, even though they've been separated for 20 years. Don't do it. There's too many Filipinas. You have too many options to get yourself in that situation. And I would ask, if I got involved with any woman, if you go to the Philippines and you find a woman that you wanted, say you want a woman with no kids, you want to start your own family, never been married, I would ask for a Cinemar, a certificate of no marriage. They can get it for about $7. That's just a certificate to show you that I've never been married, because I'm telling you, I've talked to a lot of guys and I've seen a lot of videos of men that get involved with women, and a couple years later they want to get married. She's like, well, I got something to tell you. I've been married before, but I didn't want to tell you because I was afraid I'd scare you off and I was in love with you. And now you find out that you've been dating this woman illegally, sleeping with her illegally, and now you can't even make her your wife. So I would make sure, if I got involved with any woman, to get a Cinemar. It's only $7, and if she's not married, it shouldn't be an issue. And if she said, well, you don't trust me, why don't you trust me? Just say, well, I don't trust nobody. Or tell her, well, I talked to another woman that said she hadn't been married, and later on I found out she was married, so I stopped talking to her, and I want to make sure before I get involved with anybody else, I want proof that you've never been married. Whatever you got to tell her, I'd get a Cinemar from any woman that I was getting seriously involved with. Me personally, if I was looking for a Filipino wife, I wouldn't marry her in the Philippines. I'd take her back to the United States, your own country, wherever you're from, and get married. And I'll tell you why. I like the Philippines. I plan to retire there one day. And if I was to marry a Philippine in the Philippines, if it didn't work out, then I'm going to be stuck in the same situation as all these other people are. Men, Filipinos and Filipinos, men and women. They get married, it don't work out, they separated. Now, usually it's not a big issue for them, but if you're a foreigner, it's a worse situation. You stick out like a sore thumb dating a married woman, and you can't get a divorce. So that's what I told my Filipino wife. She wanted to get married in the Philippines. I said, I'm not marrying you in the Philippines. She said, why? I said, well, there's no divorce in the Philippines. She said, well, we're not going to get a divorce. I said, well, that's what I said in my first 2 marriages. I wasn't getting a divorce. And we ended up with a divorce. Now, see, if I would have married her in the Philippines, we'd still be married. We'd always be married. And if I moved back to the Philippines, I would be illegally sleeping with women, or married, or with a woman, living with a woman. And I could go to jail for it. So I wouldn't get married in the Philippines to nobody. I would have a life partner that hadn't been married before I'd get married in the Philippines. And that's just my opinion. That's what I would do. The fourth thing I would do is you need to get to know the family, her and her family. Don't rush into anything. Don't get off the airplane that you met some woman online, start living with her 3 or 4 months, decide to get married, because it takes a while to figure out somebody, especially from another country, different cultures. You need to find out, is her family going to be gold diggers? Are they going to be asking you for money all the time? Is she going to be asking for money all the time? The family, a lot of times, even if she's a good person, good-hearted, her family will put her under pressure to ask you for money. And if she don't deliver, if she can't get it from you, then they really give her a hard time. They'll tell her she's a traitor. She's up here living in a beautiful house on the beach or in a nice condo, and they're out here in the jungle starving to death, and their own daughter won't help them. You'll put her in a bad situation. I'll tell you that now, because I've been through it. Every week, once or twice every week, for a couple of years, her family was asking, family she didn't even know existed would call her, message her on Facebook, and find out. And I'd say, who is this person that's wanting money? Well, it's my daddy's aunt's daughter's sister, or whatever. And I'm like, what the hell? Well, she's wanting money for school. They're trying to start school. She got to go next week, and they don't have the money. And so you need to spend time with her and her family to see what's going to happen, because it may take a little time. They may be a little shy first 3 or 4 months. Then 6, 7, 8 months down the road, they start trying to get some money. So get to know her and get to know the family. Make sure they're not gold diggers. And make sure they got a good family together. 'Cause a lot of them families, even though they're family and they stick together, they'll fight amongst each other, steal from each other. I bought a pig farm in the Philippines from my ex-wife's family. And they would steal the pigs, and one guy would come and say, where's the pig at? And he'd say, it died, but what he really did was he sold it and kept the money, put it in his pocket. He'd tell me it died. And, you really have to be careful. And the last thing I would say is don't be desperate. I know you've seen this before. You are the prize in the Philippines, a foreigner. And your Filipina is going to be a prize in your country. So you got a lot of options in the Philippines. And I wouldn't marry a woman from any country and bring her back to my country again. If I get married again, if I was to marry a Filipina, it would be when I was able to live in the Philippines. Because once you take her to your country, she's got a lot of options, especially if she's younger. Beautiful, younger Filipina. She starts seeing stuff that she didn't know was available before she come. So if I wasn't going to live in the Philippines, I wouldn't I'm talking about me now. This is my advice to you. I wouldn't bring her back to my country. I'd wait till I was able to move to the Philippines. I had an income, your retirement, savings, whatever. So, but don't be desperate. Don't be desperate. If you get with a woman and you fall in love and she's the best thing you ever seen behind closed doors, she's not the only one, okay? If she gives you a massage every day, she's not the only one that'll give you a massage. She's not the only one. If it don't work out, just move on, go to the next one. If you have to get in an airplane or on a boat, go to another island and start over, whatever you got to do. But don't rush into marriage. Take your time. Go over there and find one. Don't get online and find a woman, fall in love with some woman that's got 2 kids, and you didn't plan on doing that to start with, but after a year of talking and sending pictures and talking on video, cameras and all that stuff, then you done put yourself in a bad situation. So make your mind up what you want, stick with it. Don't get in no hurry. Go over there, Take your time. Make sure they're not married. Make sure you're on the up and up to find you a wife. So I want to make this video quick. I'm bad about talking and rambling on, saying the same thing over and over. So I hope this advice helps you. That's what I would do if I was looking for a wife again. So please give me a thumbs up and like this channel. Subscribe. And you guys have fun. Take care of yourself. And I'll get you another video out soon. All right. Take care.